For some reason, I'm just so unsatisfied with who I am right now that I'm constantly thinking stuff like that. It's pretty hard to admit, but there it is. Honestly, I feel relieved to finally saying it aloud to someone, even if it's just Rin. I think I want to be different sometimes. I've thought about changing myself lately, but it's a bit scary, like walking backwards with your eyes closed. The difficult part is to know where your toes are not pointing at. I mean, directions. Even if I don't do anything, I would never stay the same. It's like my old paintings. They're different than what I paint now because I'm different, but they are still my paintings, so there's something same. That's really strange. I'm different every day, but I'm still me every day. Who am I then? Is that a riddle? If you want it to be. I don't know all right answers though, so you could come up with it yourself. Well, it's the sky, isn't it? Going by your definition just now. I actually managed to surprise her by that. Maybe she had already forgotten about it. That's right. But I was thinking about myself when I said that. Very strange. Could it be that I actually am the sky? I don't think that's possible. Your logic's a bit off somewhere. She looks down and shuts up, and I can see she's quickly going over the deduction mentally, seemingly unhappy with the results she finally arrives at. Yeah, maybe I'm not the sky. Would make sense. I have a hard time knowing what kind of person I am. You're not the only one. It's like my mind is on some other place than the rest of me. Underwater. Yeah, I wonder how it got there. I have no answer, so brief silence falls between us for a moment. I shift my gaze back to the sky above us. The last time I really paid much attention to the sky was, I guess it must have been at the hospital. I can only see a thin strip of sky from the window of my room. If I walked up to the window, pressed my face against the cold glass, the strip became bigger, but not by much. That sky made me feel sad and lonely, a reminder of the world on the other side. I wonder if there's another world beyond the sky we see from up here on the school's roof as well. I can't stop comparing life to Yamaku to my hospitalization, but I really should. I'm not there anymore. The narrow sky from the window of my hospital room, the faces of the doctors that face doctors, the faces of my parents, the off-white walls everywhere. Awanako's letter, echoing the words she never said. They're things of the past now. I wish I could forget everything up until now, and that time would stop completely. There'd only be me, Rin, and the sky, and an eternal lunch break on this rooftop. Perfect, unchanging, and forever. I'm not sure if I like or hate this school. I could have gone to a normal school if I wanted, but I chose to come here. Why? I just decided I would. Kind of like melon or plum jelly. Do you think it was a good idea? I mean, there are lots of good things about this school, but I think there are a few bad things also. I know. I kind of collect people because they are interesting. People here really are amazing. Most of them, but not all. Some people can't take it. They hurt too much. It gets really bad sometimes, they hurt. I wonder if you're like that too. I hope not. I don't like things like that. Hey, I'm not your case study, and I'm not going to give up and die or anything. I'm gonna take a quick break. Go get some more water. I'll be right back. And I am back. Anyway, I meant more of this place is too distant from the real world. What's the real world? Everything out there. Real people with normal everyday lives that fit together like a puzzle. You don't think we aren't like that? Real people? Maybe we aren't. Well, no, we are. I just meant that it feels more like we're the leftover pieces. Ren thinks for a while, her almond-shaped eyes narrowing as she bites her lip a little bit, like a child. Is it hard to be disabled? Her question earns a dry chuckle from me. You tell me. You've been in this business a lot longer than I have. She just thinks about that for another while. I don't really feel that disabled. I mean, I do pretty much everything differently, but it's not that hard. I can always practice. I started to practice food things this year. I think I'd want to learn to cook in a real kitchen someday. That's admirable. I don't think it's just a state of mind. Maybe not to you. I have no good counter to that. So I concede by falling silent. The situation is making me more and more confused. I know what I want, but I don't know how to reach it. Rin seems to believe she can simply will herself into the shape she thinks she needs to be, but can't decide whether she wants to be a bird or a butterfly. I think, in the end, I'm not really that happy with who I am either. But that doesn't mean I regret being who I am. That's the thing that's wrong with you, Hisao. I've only started to process that rather blunt statement before Rin suddenly hugs me. What are you doing? I've never been hugged by a girl with no arms before. To be honest, it doesn't really physically feel like a hug. The awkward way she presses her body against mine, and lack of embracing arms, makes it feel like she fell on top of me. But the warmth of a real hug is still there, and that's what I recognize it for what it is. I'm hugging you, Hisao. I know that, but is it wrong? I thought this is what you're supposed to do. I'm not really used to this kind of thing. The first time Emmy hugged me, I got surprised and kicked her in the stomach. I can kick pretty hard, so she hasn't been hugging me an awful lot after that. It's not wrong, it's just me. Things are a bit hard for me. For the time being, I can't seem to react properly to anything. Really? So is it hard being disabled after all? I guess she has me cornered there. I don't have the energy to start arguing against it, but I feel like I have to get something out. Well, no, it's not hard. I think it's just me overthinking things. I really wish I didn't feel sorry for myself all the time. I wonder if I always was this fragile, or if I became this way after my incident. Nothing had ever truly shaken my world like that before, so there's no telling. Rin presses her cheeks against me tightly. I can feel the warmth of her body close against mine. Oh, sorry, my eye itched. Her body temperature feels really high, as if she had absorbed the sunlight into herself and is now sharing it with me. And perhaps it's a natural state for her. It's the most comforting thing I've ever felt in a long, long time. Wow, your heartbeat really does sound really weird. It's like a drunken percussion orchestra. Please don't say stuff like that. I get very uncomfortable. I laughed at her comment anyways, and in an attempt to ease the tension. It sounds a little bit too forced. Man, I'm sorry, I'm such a mess. It's okay. This is the best part of you. Hearing that doesn't make me happy. She breaks off the hug and settles down, and awkward silence falls upon us like a blanket. My feeling embraced about myself and Rin trying to arrange her expression to something she likes. One last time I glance upwards. This rooftop is really great. It's like I'm just a little bit closer to the sky. I know a better place, but we can't go there on lunch break. I can take you there sometime if you want. The bells ring for the beginning of the afternoon classes, and Rin stands up to make her way downstairs. I don't hurry after her, deciding to stay up here just a little bit while longer. Thanks for the hug. Thanks for not kicking me. After Rin leaves, I finally let tears roll down my cheeks, cry for my condition for the first and only time in my life. Then I cast away the hollow person lying on the hospital bed forever. Damn, dude. A lot happened there. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do Hanako. I just don't feel it, but I might. I don't know. 2 days later, I'm feeling less miserable. I even go for a long, brisk, healthy walk like the nurse recommended. Something which I had avoided and dodged with all sorts of excuses earlier. I feel more active in class as well, delighting our science and homeroom teacher, Mr. Matao, with correct and promptly delivered answers. The break right now between the 2 morning classes is too short for any sort of meaningful activity, but too long to just spend sitting in the classroom doing nothing. Getting out in the hallway is much better, but flexing my stiffened muscles is a better use of time than letting them get even stiffer by staying seated. The door of the neighboring classroom door opens and the students of 3-4 emerge to further fill up the extra semi-crowded hallway. It seems their teacher kept them in for a few extra minutes. Emmy is among them. She notices me noticing her, which almost makes me look away on reflex. I don't, however, and Emmy smiles as she happily skips towards me past the other students. Emmy looks pretty energetic, showing no sign of illness whatsoever. It seems she recovered from the cold. Hey, good morning. Nice to see you back on your feet. Feeling better now? She looks fine to me, but I still feel compelled to ask. Thanks, and yeah, I do. It's just a cold, nothing serious. Emmy laughs confidently as if to emphasize her condition. I wonder for a moment what would count as serious in Emmy's book. I've seen serious Emmy. She seems to be eager to put the topic aside, though. Where are you going? Off to Rin's room to see if she's awake yet? Oh, she skipped the morning class? A sheepish smile emerges on Emmy's face and she gets slightly flustered. Not exactly. Seems she caught the cold that I had. Sorry to hear that. Well, she was out in the rain on Sunday with us, after all. I saw her on Monday and she was feeling a bit under the weather back then. Yeah, anyways, I'll ask the nurse for some cold medication to give her if she doesn't get better soon. She leaves for the girls' dorm. I want to go with her to wish Rin well. I want to tell her that I'm better now, too, but it doesn't feel appropriate. An unspecified feeling diverts my thoughts away. Somehow, I just can't summon the resolve to go in there. Is that what Wanaka went through when she tried to tell me what she felt? Damn, that was a quick skip. But yeah, when you get further in, like, the first week feels forever, and then you're just, like, going by, and sometimes you'll skip weeks and months and days. Even though I'm feeling more energetic, I'm still hesitant about going over there to talk to Rin. It's not until 2 days later, on Friday, that I finally gather enough courage to enter the girls' dorm. I ask the first person to meet inside for directions to Rin's room. I knock on Rin's unmarked door and wait. After a few seconds of silence, I hear something rustling inside the door. I start wondering if maybe I should have brought something for her, like a can of warm coffee or some oranges. I could have peeled them for her. Well, too late now. The door opens soundlessly. It was already locked, and I find myself staring at Rin, who stares back at me. She looks like she just got out of bed with her hair all messed up. Oh, Jesus. Well then. And barely any clothes on. Hello. There's a strange, stupid-looking smile on Rin's face. I'm not exactly sure why. Rin smiles so rarely that it seems to be out of place every time, especially so now, given her partially undressed state. Said state makes me feel extremely conflicted about whether or not this was a good idea. Her cheeks are flushed rose red, contrasting with the milky pale complexion of a person who doesn't get enough sunlight. Her forehead looks sweaty, as though she might have a fever. Hi. Now, I don't plan on anything further than this, and Rin is staring at me with those expected eyes of hers again. Something about the situation gives me very strange vibes. Her eyes are even more vacant than usual, and she seems to have a hard time focusing them on anything. The lack of clothing is disturbing, but since she herself doesn't seem to be bothered, why should I be? Whoa! My bad. I keep telling myself that. I thought I'd pay you a visit since you haven't been at art club. I wanted to talk with you and wish you well. Rin doesn't show any sign of recognizing what I just said, making me wonder if she actually understood my words or if she even heard them. Maybe it's the fever making her groggy. She might have actually been asleep before I came over. Okay. She turns on her heel and withdraws from the door, walking back inside the small room. From the doorway I can see her walk to her bed and half fall down, half sit down on a messy pile of bed sheets. The open doorway seems to be more of an obstacle in my mind than the closed door was, but since Rin didn't say anything, I stepped through it into her room. Rin is on her bed, leaning against the wall, leaving the only chair in the room for me. She keeps quiet even after I sit down, so maybe she meant to invite me in, but just forgot to say so aloud, an implied invitation as it were. Very exciting, no one has visited me before. The breaking of the silence draws my attention from the room to its inhabitants, who currently seems to be in the middle of a very profound thought process. Actually, that was not true about visiting, but Emmy doesn't count even if she visits. She always pampers me too much. I think she's having too much fun. I think I've forgotten how to put a bra on by myself. She looks groggily down at her clothes, which is probably why I don't have one on, now that I think about it. haven't failed to notice that Rin doesn't have her shirt